It's of course a little bit different. If you're talking about the retail warehouse sector, there we are trying to invest alongside the growth areas where you still have demographic at least stability, if not growth, so around the big centers. But we are also believing in the fact that if you are buying the best center in a city where you don't expect that it ceases to exist, then you can also make good deals. For example, we bought a property this summer in Duderstadt, and Duderstadt is not very well known. It's close to Göttingen, but it is actually having an interesting middle class population, slightly shrinking, and there was a UK developer and holder of that property. He needed to go out, and we managed to buy this property of a very attractive yield. So we went that road, and if we are combining those deals where you have opportunities with new product coming from the market with cap rates round about 7%, the investors are quite happy to have a mix of attractive deals that you can be picked up in the market, and also buying the market with new developed properties. Because, for example, this Duderstadt properties is only 3 years old, has been built to a very good standard, but only had the disadvantage that it was completed in the heat of the crisis, 2008, 2009, when there was virtually no market available. And nowadays, of course, you can go there, test it, see whether it has been received well by the local population, the customers, which is a test that you can't run when you're buying a property that is open today or in a few months. There you can see whether the property has been accepted. And so a combination out of deals and buying the market is for us the right strategy.
So we are of course landing as well in the top cities, which means not only the top sevens. We are going normally typical in cities as well, which have a good macro location. From a general view, for example, if you're going to North Rhine-Westphalia, there are some cities where you can landing. But in general, we are preferring a very good micro location in the city, micro location as well as a good micro location in secondary cities. But we are not preferring to go in the suburbs of any big cities, also not in the suburbs of Frankfurt, for example. So we have, and all other investors and lenders have the experience what happened if one single tenant goes out, and therefore I think the location, the micro location, is one of the important things. So in general, we are going as well in cities with more than 50,000 inhabitants, and these are really small cities then. But then we would like to see the most important asset in this area.
I think we're, at least in the office segment, always very much geared towards prime. It's for us the top 7, and within the top 7 cities, it's the good quality locations. We also wouldn't go to the suburbs around Frankfurt, and that's a pretty strict strategy there. I think we're more flexible on the retail side. There we probably wouldn't go to Duderstadt, but we would go to mid-sized cities to the extent we see purchasing power, we see good demographics, and we have one of the prime assets in those markets, but we're definitely not a buyer for secondary property in general.
I think it depends on what your investor is willing to take on the risk curve, actually, and how you can educate and talk to him. If you have a single investor fund, you might be more flexible to extract the opportunities that currently arise on properties that are by location maybe core, but due to the structure and whatever, not perceived as a core, more perceived as a secondary asset in the market currently. But for a lot of funds, where you have the group of investors that targets core, you just are not able to extract the opportunity that's arising possibly from these locational issues on the divergence between prime and secondary yields. And at the same time, having said this, we were going also in smaller cities across Germany to look for the assets, but it has to be then one of the top assets in the market. Otherwise, we wouldn't go for any kind of location. We are not sure that it is a location that will be the top spot on the medium to long term in the office segment. At the same time, in retail, we are flexible to go for smaller cities. We would be happy to go to Duderstadt if we have known the property, because we are looking for some of our funds for retail in Germany. So that is something we will definitely go for.